Spoilers, 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 lots of spoilers. I'm going to be talking about everything. So if you have not watched Smallville, please do not watch this video. I do not want to ruin the experience for you. Hi guys, I watched all of Smallville over the last 3 weeks, and thanks to my friend Richard, who I want to thank personally for getting me into Smallville, I have some thoughts about Smallville and I wanted to bring it up to you. So let's talk about Smallville. First of all, there's this thing in Smallville where they have lazy writing, and by lazy writing I mean that they use the same phrase repeated over and over again throughout the series. As you know, Clark Kent is an alien from the planet Krypton, and that is a secret that he has to keep from his friends and his, girlfriends and people that he reacts to and deals with in school. They don't refer to it as anything other than my secret. I watched all 10 seasons back to back, so you can imagine the words my secret gets really annoying. It's so annoying when someone doesn't want to come up with another way to say it, like, find out the truth about me, or what is the secret about me, or where I'm from, or my truth, or something. They just kept saying, if she finds out my secret, if he finds out my secret, I can't find the secret. If they learn about my secret, it just got really, really annoying. At one point, I counted at least 10 uses of it in like 3 minutes, and it was really obnoxious. I know that there are filler episodes in every show and every season, but for the first 5 years of this show, it seems like each season was almost 2/3 or more of filler episodes, and that means one-off, has nothing to do with the larger story. Here's a monster of the week, here's a baddie of the week, and it's just people doing stuff that have nothing to do with anything else. I also didn't like how they had this weird rule that they set out, I think, at the beginning of the show. They wanted no tights and no flights. That's understandable for maybe the first 3 or 4 or even 5 seasons, but when he doesn't wear the suit and he doesn't fly until the last 2 or 3 episodes of the entire series, I can't imagine having been a fan and having watched this show live when it was airing. I also didn't like how they sort of weirdly used the other DC characters, like the Justice League or the Justice Society, and they weirdly used the Flash. They may not have had the rights to some of those people, so maybe that's why it was super annoying. And I also thought that there was a lot of, unnecessary death in the show, whereas you could have just had a character leave or had characters move on. They killed pretty much everybody's dad in this show. And I'm an emotional person, and I get a little weird, and some things trigger me more than other things, but when you kill, every single person's dad, or every single person is an orphan, or every single person has weird dad issues, it's like, who's writing the show? What sort of issues do they have with their dad? I don't understand. I really, really liked that it, took place in the early 2000s, and everything was really dated. I mean, flip phones, crappy alternative music, weird hairstyles, weird clothes, halter tops, bell bottoms, flared jeans, all the stuff that you don't really see anymore. It's trends that will probably never, ever happen ever again. That's part of my growing up, so it's nice. It was a nice little snapshot of that part of my life. Justin Hartley and Jensen Ackles, this is both of their first, breakout roles. Jensen Ackles, as you know, on Supernatural, big fan, love Supernatural, been a fan since probably 7 or 8 years now. And Justin Hartley is now on This Is Us, which is one of my favorite shows, and I love it so much. For Jensen Ackles, this is a much more silly, funny role, because he's in a relationship, and he's, trying to date Lana and really like her, but he's also got this dark side, and his family has this conspiracy thing. And for Justin Hartley, I really liked that he got to be, what I always thought of when I thought of Green Arrow, not you have failed this city. I am trying to kill everybody that my father wrote down on a piece of paper, which is the Stephen Amell version of Arrow. The Chloe Ollie ship is the ship that I'm really, really into. I really liked how they created this Chloe character. She was not a character from the comics, and it was like a cuter, funner version of Felicity Smoke. That's not to say that I don't like Olicity or Oliver Felicity in the Green Arrow series that we have now, but something about the way that Allison Mack and Justin Hartley were on screen, I really enjoyed their chemistry and what they were about. And then my last and one of my favorite things about the show was Red Clark. And that's when Clark gets near red kryptonite, or wears a red kryptonite ring, he turns into this bad boy version of Clark Kent. And there's something about the way that Tom Welling does a bad boy that's really funny and silly and so out of character for Clark Kent that it's really fun to watch. My least favorite character is a tie between Tess Mercer, or Tessa Lena Luthor, technically, spoiler alert, obviously, and Lana Lang. I hate both of these characters so much. I almost didn't want to watch after the second or third season because I was like, Lana doesn't leave until the 8th season. I have to watch 6 more seasons of Lana. Nothing against the actress. I'm sure she's lovely and I'm sure she's great at her job and she's done very, very well for herself as far as acting goes, but I just could not get into Lana. Even when Lana is like tough and mean and gets powers and all this other stuff, I just couldn't get into her. I couldn't get behind Lana and Clark together. And maybe it's because in the back of my mind I'm just waiting for Lois. And this may be my friend's fault for telling me that, like, Lois and Clark have much better chemistry or whatever. But the minute Lois comes on screen, you just want Lana to leave. And Tess is just annoying. And for someone who's supposed to be the Lena Luthor of this series, she cannot compare to Katie McGrath on Supergirl. I'm sorry. Katie McGrath is amazing and does such a good job with that role. It's hard to watch anybody else try to be the female Luthor. My favorite character, not a surprise, Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. The best part of watching this show was watching him. I didn't know that he leaves the show after the 7th season. Was really bummed out, especially when it was like, is he dead? Is he not dead? How does he come back? He has to come back at some point. I knew everybody comes back for the finale, or at least most of the characters come back for the finale. I was obsessed with him. I think he's so good and so interesting. I want to start listening to his podcast. I want to watch all the things he's ever been in. I need to watch the Flash, that he was the voice of the Flash. I need to watch the Young Justice or Justice League TV show or animated series. And the best Lex Luthor I've seen ever. I don't think they're going to bring Lex Luthor into the Supergirl series, but it would be interesting to see if he would be interested in doing that role. I think if they decide to, that they should bring him in. My favorite scene, and this was something that I did not expect to be my favorite scene, but there's a scene in season 10, episode 4, where I think Clark still hasn't told Lois, but Lois knows about Clark. They were supposed to dance at this party, and then they don't dance at this party, and then later on they're in the barn, and he puts on a disco ball, and he has it's dark, and it's beautiful, and it's a beautiful moment, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm getting, like, really emotional for some reason, and I don't know why, but I'm sitting there watching it, and they start dancing, and it's, like, some slow, sweet music in the background or whatever, and I said to myself out loud, I'm like, they're gonna fly. The minute they're dancing together, they're gonna fly. That's exactly what happens. They start dancing, slow dancing together, and it's like a tender moment, and the music like swells, and then they're floating off the ground. And I lost it. I was like teary-eyed. I don't know what was going on. I was like, my face was like bawling, and I just was texting my friend like, you didn't tell me, this was so emotional, whatever. And he's like, I don't even know what you're referring to. Like, I don't remember that. And also, because I'm a horrible person, but the scene where Lana almost dies in the tornado was probably the best thing I've seen in a really long time. I almost didn't want Clark to save her. Like, he jumps into the car. I'm like, why are you saving her? Just let her die. You can get rid of her right now, Clark. When you're rewatching a show or watching it for the first time, don't Google people, because you will just get spoiled. This is something I learned, and I sort of already knew it, but you can't even Google someone with the word of the show you're watching, like Justin Hartley Smallville, because you'll find out, when does he leave the show? Who is he really? Why is he, like, what his character is? Does his character die? Is it, fully immerse yourself in the show if you want to go spoiler free. I watch Lucifer religiously, and now it's going to be really hard to watch Lucifer because Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent, is in Lucifer. He looks very different, and the character is very different. I won't spoil Lucifer people watching, but it's really weird now to watch Lucifer. And I'm going to have to watch him and be like, no, Clark, get out of the way, let Lucifer and Chloe be together. It's just gonna be really weird. I don't understand. Watching old shows can color the way that you're viewing other shows. So those are my thoughts on Smallville. I have a couple of other videos that I'm preparing. As you can see, this is an edited video. I'm getting back into editing again. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.